Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do our market overview and talk about why the British pound dropped like a rock last week. So let's get into it. A quick update on the top 3 indexes in the US. We have the Dow, the S&P, and the Nasdaq. The Dow was down about 800 points, which is about 2.75%. The S&P 500 was down about 100 points, which is about 2.8%. And the Nasdaq was down about 250 points, which is 2.37%. Again, another down week in the market, but we're going to discuss why that was and what happened. We had a very up and down week this week in the market. Wednesday, it looked like things were going to go well. I thought my prediction last week of markets moving upward was correct. Unfortunately, that was all wrong by the end of day Friday. Thursday and Friday was a really rough day in the market and things just went south. So, what exactly happened there? Well, markets were trying to decide what the Fed said from last week and trying to make up their mind whether it was good or bad news and come to a conclusion. But there was more to it than that. What threw everything for a loop this week was Britain. The pound dropped to record lows that we haven't seen since 1985, which should tell you something. Something's going on over there. Well, they made a big decision. The Bank of England decided that they were going to stop their quantitative tightening and made a direct pivot. That changed markets, and that's part of the reason why the market changed so drastically Thursday and Friday. Another reason the pound dropped is because of the change of power in England. And no, I don't mean the king. I mean they have a new Congress coming in. What this Congress plans to do is they plan to lower taxes and decrease the price of energy for their citizens. So as we all know, there's a big conflict between Ukraine and Russia. That's causing energy prices over in Europe to go absolutely wild. This is going to be a really big deal for them. They're going to spend a lot of money on this, and it caused a lot of people to lose faith in the pound. So why did this cause the US markets to drop? Isn't this only affecting England? Well, not exactly. We see that England has decided to go ahead and start buying bonds again, which is definitely a change. Before this, they were working on quantitative tightening, and they were really trying to get inflation down in their nation and following other nations and trying to slow down inflation. Unfortunately, they decided that this drop in the pound was just too hard for them and too drastic, and they couldn't handle all of this really tough economic pressure they had on their economy. They decided to pivot. They started to do quantitative easing now with buying that securities and starting buying bonds. And that made a lot of people worried. Why were they worried? Well, that's because this is the first major economy to go ahead and make a big change in their economic policy. So what does that mean for the US? Are they next? Are they going to be the next economy to go ahead and make a big pivot? Well, they could be. So are we next? Are we expecting to see the US economy completely switch and start into a deep recession? Well, most economists would say we already are in one. We got confirmed this week that GDP numbers were down by 0.6 of a percentage point. That's 2 quarters in a row of GDP numbers being down. Most economists would say that's a recession, but the government doesn't want to say that. They don't want to put that label on it yet, even though most people are saying we are. Personally, I haven't seen the true effects of what I expect a recession to be like. I still see the job market being pretty hot. Housing market isn't dropping hard, but I think that could change soon. And people aren't losing their jobs yet. So, are we next? I don't know, but I think we definitely could be. It all depends on what the Fed decides to do with their policy changes. I think around March they're going to kind of taper off interest rates. That's at least what they're saying they're going to do. And I think we'll have a lot more information then when they decide if they're going to taper interest rates or if they're going to actually increase them. So what am I seeing in the future? What's happening this upcoming week? Well, I think markets are continue to go down a little bit. They could stay relatively flat, but I don't see a big uptick in the market. Again, I was wrong last week and things come up that I have no idea about. So just pay attention every single day to see what's happening, or check in here when you can, and I'll keep you updated on what's happening prior week and what I think is going to happen in the next week. Well, guys, I know this was a big update compared to last week, and I know there's a lot of stuff happening last week in the market. We have the British pound going crazy, and we're really not sure what that means for us or what's going to happen in other economies. So make sure you stay tuned. Anyways, make sure you like, subscribe, and go ahead and leave a comment below so I know if you guys like this content, what else you guys want to hear more about, and if I can be of any help to you. Otherwise, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.